Hi everybody, welcome to Northwood Farms Vlog. I think this is going to be 208. It is the end of summer 2019 and I am down in Thousand Oaks, California. Well, this is actually the Hidden Valley. So I'm like 30 minutes from LA, one of the largest cities in the world, right? And I am literally 30 seconds ride from the Santa Monica wilderness that goes from here all the way to Malibu, California. So it's this wild strip of land, and I'm so blessed to be here. This is where Nathan Griner lives, so I get to come down and play ponies with him 3 or 4 times out of the year. And so, see, this is what happens when I don't have kids. I'm Emma, this is Bozeman. And I just wanted to pop in really quick because one of the things that we've been talking about lately is how the core of the horsemanship, I don't know, process, journey, whatever you want to say, the core of what we're doing is so about the individual horse. Like, it doesn't really matter how talented or physically gifted or intelligent or I would say mentally prepared to be a part of the journey. It doesn't matter what the individual is like, because the process is starting from where you are and trying to see what the two of you can bring out together. So when I'm picking a horse, or even when I get to come down here and play with a certain string of horses, what I'm always trying to do is see where we are today and where we could possibly get to. And so it's really fun because Grayson's here. He's like this humongous 18-hand thoroughbred, and he has, gaits that are a certain way. And he grew up a really loving people. Like, you can tell that he's had wonderful humans in his whole life. And, then we have some little horses that have been trouble, horses that grew up on big ranches. Let's say Bozeman's very talented in a certain area, like the horse can slide and turn and work a cow, but he still kind of has challenges with canners, right? Some of the jumpier, more collected things he really has to work at. So it's such a fun process to accept what the horse brings to the table naturally, and then try to draw out in a fun, interesting way what they potentially can be. And it's so fun to be on a horse and having them kind of get brighter and brighter because they can do more and more cool things. I love that so much. And it's a time in actually a bunch of our lives where we're bringing new horses in, and some horses are retiring. And as we talk about joining up with a horse, really, committing to kind of a longer term relationship, man, that it really is a commitment. And it doesn't matter how talented or physically gifted a horse is to start with. The horse-human relationship is still going to be a relationship that requires work and is going to have, peaks and valleys. And so I think about what horse is going to inspire me. And it could be just the way they look or the way they walk, something of how they turn, something of how they look at me. Sometimes it's one of my friends was just talking about how this kind of haunted look in a horse's eyes was, she really wanted to see if she could turn that around, and I was just on a horse the other day who's so gentle and perfect and soft. I'm like, wow, what a cool thing. I'm not specifically physically talented at all, but what would it be like to work with that mind? And so it's just something I think too, as I think about what horses inspire me, I think of no one can really decide that for you. And I think that the more honest I am with myself about what floats my boat, kind of, the more chance I have of it carrying through. Because if you kind of go with just what your crowd's around or what floats other people's boat, or you want to kind of look like someone else or whatever. Unfortunately, I think when the rubber hits the road, no one is there to do it for you. You know, like no one is there to gut it out when you feel disappointed or like you suck, or you know, maybe things are never going to get better. Of course, they always do get better, and that's easier to live through the more experience we have. But it's still going to be tough times, and you can't buy your way out of that. So if a horse really speaks to your soul to begin with, then go with it, like as you're picking horses, because that's ultimately the core of it all. That's the dream, and I'm really trying to hold myself to that as I choose, as we come along. Like Davina, for instance, with her challenges behind the leg, or you know, being kind of scary when she got in front of the leg, like I was talking about on one of the last vlogs. I don't care, because she is so amazing to me when she moves, and when I finally get her with me, the feeling is just irreplaceable, really. So that's carrying us through, you know, some of the more difficult times. And like Buck and I have talked about, well, Buck talks about it a lot, but you know, horsemanship is a solitary journey, kind of, and it's so fun to be able to share it all with you guys and hear your stories too, because it kind of can connect us, because it's like we're on a solitary journey, but it's comforting to know that other people are on a solitary journey too. And then as we choose our friends along the way, it's something that I think the more you hang in there and the more little peaks you get through, the more it expands your heart and your soul, I think. So anyway, that's what's on my mind recently. And I'm gonna catch a plane and head back home, and I hope you guys are doing good. The end of the summer is here. We're gonna get to the Horsemanship Throwdown just shortly. We have a ton of cool things coming down the pike for you guys, and I have a new horse I want to talk to you about. So anyway, hope you guys are doing good, and we will talk to you later.